Hi everyone, we are Fidel and
Nikki. So today we are talking about evolution and creationism. What do you think?
Well, it's like there's an ongoing battle between evolutionists and creationists, And one side thinks the other side is wrong and vice versa. And then there are people like me who think that the two theories are not mutually exclusive.
The Catholic Church supports evolutionary creation.
Yes, evolutionary creation.
Actually, in their science curriculum, they have evolution.
Yeah, I remember when we were enrolling Eli, our son, when we were enrolling him in the Catholic school.
Yes.
We looked at the curriculum and we had a conversation with one of the priests who happened to be one of the teachers too.
Yes.
And I must say that I was really impressed with his knowledge. Hats off for Catholic priests. One thing I like about them is that they keep up with science.
Yes.
But one of the things that gets me really upset about people that criticize evolution is that when you listen to them, you find out that they don't even know the basics about evolution. They don't even know what evolution is and stuff like that.
Before we go so deep, let's just start. What is evolution?
Okay, good question. How do I put it in simple terms? Evolution refers to change in the characteristics of a species over several generations. And this change is driven by a process called natural selection.
Yeah. What about creationism?
Okay, creationism is the belief that the universe and every living organism in the universe, originated from an act of a deity, be it God, A good example of creationism is the biblical story of creation.
Yeah.
There are similar stories across many cultures, but one thing they all have in common is the belief that one deity or God or a God, created everything. Everything originated from the deities.
Yes. Creation. So what's the contradiction?
That's the question. Wherein then lies the contradiction? I mean, first of all, we have to understand that the Bible is a spiritual book, right?
Yes.
It looks at the process from the spiritual perspective. Science, by definition, science only deals with the physical, with the measurable, that which is observable and measurable. Right? So science only deals with material, the physical. When it comes to science, there's nothing like spiritual. Science does not deal with the spiritual.
No.
God, for example, is out of the question because God is, beyond the realm of science. It is pseudoscience trying to use science to prove or disprove the existence of God. That's pseudoscience.
Yeah.
It is also pseudo-spiritualism or pseudo whatever you want to call it, when you want to try to use the Bible to disprove science, because they are, approaching the issues from different perspectives.
Yeah.
Now, let me give you an example, right? A child, runs to the mother and asks the mother, "Hey, mommy, how did I get here?" The mother tells the child, "You know what, honey? Your dad and I wanted to raise a family, so we came together, we got married, and we prayed to God, and we came together, and and I got pregnant, and God gave you to us. And that's how you were born."
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing wrong in this explanation. This is the truth. That's how the child was born. Now, the child goes to school and asks the teacher. The teacher tells the child, "See how you got here. Your dad introduced his sperm into your mom's, birth canal. The sperm traveled and meets your mom's egg. They, fertilize the egg. They form the zygote and, form the fetus over time. And over many months, you grow into an infant. And after 9 months, your mom gave birth to you." this is also the truth.
Yes.
Now this child will be stupid if she runs back to the mother and tells the mother, you are wrong. The teacher said I started as a zygote, and my dad's sperm and your egg. You're wrong. You said you and dad wanted to have me, and you got married and you had me. So that's like the two explanations are not mutually exclusive. One is approaching the issue from the intention behind the whole thing. That's what the mother told the child. While the teacher is explaining the scientific process. The same way evolution, creationism, explains the non-physical part of it, the intention, the deity. Creationism, believes there's a God behind the whole process. The God created.
Yes.
Now, the Bible is not a scientific book. You don't expect the Bible to start telling you natural selection, species. These are scientific terms.
Yes.
The Bible deals with the spiritual. So science, on the other hand, through the process of evolution, is explaining the physical process, how the process happened from the scientific perspective, from the physical perspective.
Yes. Yes.
So the Bible said God created out of the dust of the earth. God found man and gave him the breath of life, and man became a living soul. The question is, this process of creation, did it happen spontaneously, or was it done through the process of gradual coming into being, gradual changing of species, which is evolution?
Yes.
So people read the Bible, they automatically assume this creation happened instantaneously. Boom, man came out of the ground, fully formed.
Yes.
So the problem is not, people shouldn't throw away the scriptures. The problem is they should understand it from the spiritual perspective, and not try to use it as a scientific book.
Yeah.
The same Bible said that 1,000 years are as one.
Yeah.
So from the spiritual perspective, what may have taken 1,000 years on earth, they see it as one day. So whoever wrote the creation story, Moses or whoever wrote it, what he was seeing as happening instantaneously from the physical or from the scientific perspective may have taken millions of years.
Yes, a long period of time. Yeah, so people often say that evolution is just a theory, right? So if science believes so, why is it still a theory?
I mean, if science is so sure about evolution, why
if science is so sure about
evolution? That's
evolution.
Another misconception. That shows lack of understanding of the theory of evolution, lack of understanding of science. In science, theory are not just mere speculations. It's not the layman's theory. Scientific theory, science arrives before a theory is formed. It goes through a lot of scrutiny, right? It goes through rigorous testing.
Yes.
The scientific process. First of all, you make an observation, right? And then you try to question the observation, try to come up with a solution, and that's called hypothesis, right? And then you try to gather data to test this hypothesis. After rigorous testing of this hypothesis, if this hypothesis lives up to the claims, if nothing proves it wrong, it becomes a theory. So a theory has been tested and found to be. Scientific theories are actually facts. A theory is just a scientific term that they use. It's not the layman's theory, Although as science, as a field of study, they keep, testing the theory. That doesn't mean that the theory is just a mere speculation.
Okay, so people again often say that if human descended from apes, right? Why do we still have apes?
Yeah, I always hear that story. That question stems from lack of understanding of the theory of evolution. I don't even know how to answer this question in very simple terms. Okay, if I tell you I have a cousin, okay, let me say I have a cousin called Mike, right? I tell you Mike is my cousin, right? That means Mike and I share a common grandfather, right? So tomorrow you tell me, if you descended from that grandfather, how come you are here and Mike is here too? Do you understand?
Yes.
But Mike and I, we represent different evolutionary paths, but we share a common ancestor. First of all, evolution never said that human beings descended from modern day apes or monkeys. No. Evolution says that we and the present day apes, share a common ancestor. This ancestor lived, long time ago and is extinct now, right? So we this ancestor, both we and the present day apes descended from. And then from the scientific perspective, we humans are apes too. Only that the difference between one ape and another is that they both took different evolutionary paths. If you look at the tree of evolution, you will see splits, right? There's a term called cladogenesis, right? This, means cladogenesis is a process that explains how natural events causes splits in evolution, in the line of evolution. So for example, let me give you an example. A group of monkeys living here, right? Let's say there's a natural catastrophe, for example, and then this piece of land breaks away and moves into the ocean and becomes an island. Now, the monkeys caught inside that island that moved away, they are gonna, over many years, over millions of years, they're gonna evolve to that environment. They are gonna look different from those on the mainland because they now find themselves in a different environment, which is gonna drive them to to adapt to that environment. And this adaptation is gonna make them look different from the ones in the mainland. So after millions of years, if I tell you that these two apes had a common ancestor, you wouldn't ask me if they had how come this one is here and this one is here. They took different evolutionary paths, driven by the process called cladogenesis.
Wow.
So
everyone, you've heard it all. No more argument.
Cease the argument, Don't throw away your scriptures. Read the Bible from a spiritual perspective. Understand that the Bible is a spiritual book. The Bible is there to tell you, it tries to tell you the purpose of it all. Not exactly the how. When it comes the how of a physical process, you go to science. Science tells you the how of a physical process, the exact physical processes that led to this. The Bible only tells you what's behind it all. The Bible tells you that God created everything. And scientifically, you cannot prove that wrong. At the same time, you cannot validate it because science simply cannot deal with God. It's beyond the realm of science. So stop using your Bible as a scientific book. Stop using it to attack scientists. And scientists too. Stop, using science to, investigate God. If you're doing that, that shows you're a pseudoscientist. You're a quack scientist. That's pseudoscience. Science, a good scientist knows the limitation of science. Science is limited to the physical, observable. God is non-physical. The reason behind everything, the will of God, that the religion is claimed caused everything, is beyond physical, is beyond observable by science. So you don't use science to try and prove or disprove God. Well, that's a video for another time. We're gonna talk about science versus God and see the folly of people that try to use science to prove or disprove God.
Yes, everyone, subscribe to our channel, and that is
like our channel, like our videos, share with your friends. Comment, agree with us, disagree with us, say whatever you want to say. We have a thick skin. Criticize us,
we don't mind. We just want to hear your own view. And subscribe to our channel. Invite your friends, share our video. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Bye.